Hello YouTube, my name is Olivier and welcome back to another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate DLC discussion. We just had one it feels like a month ago, about a month ago, and we're back here again because things, well, they didn't really change in that we have all the characters revealed, we only have one. The things changed drastically because before we all thought we kinda could predict the characters because it was Nintendo, some characters were gonna be obvious, some others obviously we're not going to be in, and now it seems like everything we knew was a lie, and everything that we thought was in fact a lie. When DLC was first announced and it was revealed it was Nintendo, we all went with safe bets. They're going to go with characters they're marketing, which still might hold true, but before the marketing we could all assume we're going to be for safe characters. For characters like the Three Houses character, characters from upcoming games like Metroid Prime 4, and now it seems like the book has been completely left open because we just don't know what is going to happen. With Joker changing everything, I decided why not make another video to try to discuss or try to find out or predict multiple characters that could still be a part of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's DLC as the final 4 characters for DLC, at the very least current DLC. So outside of the DLC, I want to make this very quick prediction and hope, and it's more of a hope prediction and a prediction, is that I hope that outside of the DLC we get updates that come with each character that bring things like, outside of patches obviously, that bring like some bosses, maybe some game modes, echoes, character costumes. We know we're gonna get Mii costumes, but character costumes would be really neat to have as well. Game modes obviously, echoes, and potentially and hopefully, but well, I say hopefully for the case of the characters from new franchises coming in, assist trophies, and obviously later on Pokemon. So I divided this kind of things in like, well, I have Fire Emblem, Three Houses here, and then other Nintendo first party IPs, and then a bunch of third parties, because it seems like third parties are the more ones likely that we can discuss and more openly. The reason that I put Fire Emblem Three Houses outside of the rest of the Nintendo characters is because I have 2 characters that I think are very likely, or could be very likely to be in Smash Bros. Ultimate, but it's still very up in the air if Three Houses is even going to get a character. Before the Game Awards, I would have said clearly, 100% Eldegoard or whatever that guy with the blue hair was in the trailer. One of these two, if not both, could be characters in the game. And now iffy on if they're gonna which character is gonna be, because I still think it's gonna be a character from Three Houses is gonna be in the game, and obviously we'll start talking about that. I think it's gonna be one of 2 characters. It's either gonna be the green-haired girl that was hugging like the sword in the trailer, or the guy with the chain bow, not the chain bow, with the bone whip. He looks cool, and it was an old dude, I think. I haven't seen the trailer in a while. But he had a bone whip, or it looked like a bone whip. He was using it. And the girl with the green hair, I believe she was hugging the sword. I think those 2 would be likelihoods, because my prediction for Fire Emblem Three Houses is that it's going to be much like Fire Emblem Fates, where there's going to be 3 campaigns, except this time I think it's going to be all in one game instead of divided by 3, and I could see 3 different characters being the main character, like the green-haired guy or the blue-haired guy that we saw in the trailer alongside these 2. And the old dude can, even if it's not 3 different stories with the old dude being, I can still see the old dude being a playable character in one of the stories. I can still see even if with that possibility of the 3 stories, I still see the old dude being the villain, and I think that's one thing that certain franchises in Smash are missing. And if there's one thing I think a few changes need to be done in Smash, is like victory screen themes for certain characters should be different. Ganondorf should not have the same as Link, and other villains need as well. I think there needs to be a separation, but I think like there are certain franchises that villains and main characters are so disposable. They happen, they're in one game, the next game they're out, and it happens a lot with Fire Emblem, it happens a lot with Xenoblade. Also, like in these franchises, sometimes the main villain, it's something that you can't really put in the game because like they have multiple transformations that they turn into huge gigantic monsters, so it becomes a little bit difficult to have them in. And yeah, and in Pokemon obviously you have the Pokemon, so that's different. I think like these 2 are the very more likely ones. I would if one of these two, I would prefer the old dudes, mostly because I think he's a villain and he looks cool. We only have like a couple, technically speaking, we only have one character that uses a whip, and if he's a villain for Ames Treehouse, it'll be really neat to see a villain from a Fire Emblem game make it as a playable character, not just an assist trophy or even an echo, as some of us were predicting for Mr. Black Knight. Then for other first party IPs, I have a few here. One of them I'm gonna go in. Two of them I think I'm gonna go a little bit in depth on. The first one is Generation 8 Pokemon. I think with the coming of the game, I think it's an obvious one. Even if it's gonna be like, oh, it's predictable, too predictable. It might be too predictable. Here's the thing, we don't know. So that's the expectations. Like unexpected characters. I'm expecting a Generation 8 character. I'm not expecting. I don't know what to expect, honestly. I'm expecting one of the starters. So if it's a legendary or a mascot, that is different from what it's unexpected, technically. And at one point, and I'm going to discuss this a little bit more later on, if a character is so unexpected that it becomes expected, then it's expected, meaning that you are expecting it, meaning that it no longer would become a character that would be unexpected, so it becomes, and the same thing happening here. If a character is so expected that you no longer expect it to happen, it becomes unexpected. So it's technically speaking viable for what Nintendo said, so it's a little bit of a flip-flop. Then the other characters I also have here is Psylocke. I said this before. I even said he could be making into the base roster depending on how far away or how if they could have gotten him in time for the base roster. Because of Metroid Prime 4, everything seems to gear up to Psylocke being the new villain of the Metroid Prime franchise. I don't know if it's going to be a new trilogy, I don't know if it's just going to be one game, but Metroid Prime, it seems like it's going to have a new villain in the form of Psylocke. It was hinted at the end of, I believe, when you 100% Prime 3, and at the end of Federation Force, he also steals a Metroid, I believe. Not too sure. And then it becomes a little bit of here it's a little bit muddy, because I have a character from a new IP, which would be unexpected given the fact that the Inklings did not get into Smash Brothers until Smash Ultimate. We don't have a new character from ARMS. Dylan's Role in Western didn't get a character in. Xenoblade also, like, technically speaking, made it into Xenoblade Chronicles, made it into Smash Brothers 4, but you know, it was a 5-year difference basically between the original launch of the game and Super Smash Bros. 4. The revival of old characters of an old IP, when I'm going to get into this more a little bit. And also Elma is a possibility. I believe that there's no music from Xenoblade Chronicles X in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Then I believe there is a spirit of Elma. I think that's the only representation that Xenoblade Chronicles X has in the game. And obviously Elma and Rex are ones that I want to talk about here a little bit. Not much as Elma as Rex, but I think that both of these characters go into, especially Rex. I think that right now there's a large contingency of people saying that Rex can't happen because of the Mii costume, which again I don't think this proves anything, mostly, especially given the fact that he came as later as DLC, not in the base game like Nia. And the spirit, I think that it goes very much with the Generation 8 Pokemon thing, that if a character is so, in this situation, it's so, the characters are supposed to be unexpected characters, something that we would not be expecting to see. And if people right now are not expecting to see Rex and Pyra make it into the game, or even what I think was going to happen with Rex, which is Rex with 3 blades and changing it a little bit from what we like a Pokemon trainer, but reverse, where the character in front doesn't change, but his moveset completely changes. The character model change is in the background instead of being the foreground. But it's still like the moveset being different and tailor-made for another character. But it's still like reverse Pokemon trainer, as in Rex stays the same, just like Pokemon trainer. The character Rex stays, but the Pokemon, the blades, are the ones that change. And Elma, I don't know. I heard a lot of people. I hear people talking about it, but like Rex, I think it's a more likely one, mostly because like there's such an expectation of like spirits deconfirmed characters, and I think most people want it to be that way so they don't get their hopes too high. I think, for example, that a character like Bandana Waddle Dee, I don't think you should get your hopes up, period. I don't care if you think spirits are confirming or deconfirming characters. I think Bandana Waddle Dee is not happening as DLC. When it was when it was Sakurai making the choice, maybe when it was pre-Joker being announced, maybe, but right now, I feel like Nintendo's gonna go with characters that, although are either expected or unexpected, or characters that are really gonna be major either shockers or major sellers, and Waddle Dee might not be it. It's also Waddle Dee I don't think would bring in the stage or the music. Where I could still see it being a character DLC way down the road. They could make more characters outside of the characters we're seeing. And maybe they even said like Sakurai, here's the 5, we need to work on 5 characters with 5 stages and more music, but if you can work on more characters, feel free to do it. And knowing Sakurai, the man is insane enough to say like, I could make like 6 more alongside these. Piranha Plant is an example of that. He's not a part of it, so it wouldn't shock me, or even the season 2, so you know. And then the character that somebody sent in my comments on the Joker video that I made a couple weeks ago, and I agree with it, mostly because I'm also predicting something else that I will be talking about in another video that I think will come out tomorrow. And there is Porky. Porky is a very interesting character. Porky is from obviously Earthbound. I believe it's from Earthbound. Could be wrong. Is it Porky? Is the guy? I think the guy's name Porky, right? You do know the main antagonist, the kid from Earthbound. I think it's Earthbound. Could be wrong. I haven't played Earthbound in a while, and I don't remember if it's the main guy, the kid from next door, if it's Porky. But I think it's Porky. But no matter what, Porky is from Earthbound. It's the very Earthbound franchise, the mother franchise, and he was a boss in Subspace Emissary, but he's not a boss in Ultimate. He's not a boss in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. He was not brought over, and he also doesn't have a spirit. Although I don't believe spirits stick from anything, bosses I think would. And the character not being a boss and not being a spirit and not having any type of representation outside of it, it's kind of iffy. And sure, there's not a lot of bosses in Ultimate, and Rayquaza is also not a boss. But I think those two things seem like a little bit of a too big of an omission for it not to have to be some sort of sign, I guess. Mostly like the boss thing. I looking at it, and like I'm saying, actually to me in a little bit I'll be recording my 2019 predictions, the second part of that predictions, and the Mother franchise turns 30 next year. In July of 2019 the franchise will turn 30, because in July 19th or July 9th, I forget, it was around that time period, in 1989 the franchise launched. So if we're not gonna get Nintendo, which could be an Echo, they could launch at the same time as Porky, it could easily be Porky as a character, DLC character, playable character. They could easily do it, I think. Not easily, obviously, it's never easy, but they could do it. The only problem with Porky would be the stage and music, because we already have Earthbound music and stages, but they can bring more. You never, there's not every music of the games in Smash Brothers, so maybe they could. And yeah, I think that's about it for first party. Then we reach third parties, and we're gonna begin. I put this in order. I think, yeah, I left the 2 ones that I kind of believe, one of them that I really believe is gonna be to the end. So I'm gonna I'm gonna talk first about the Japanese ones. I'm just gonna make this out of the way. Konami, I really don't know who they could bring in. I believe they are the owners of Klonoa, so maybe them, but I think that's Namco. I could be wrong. And I don't know anything else about Konami. I honestly am drawing a blank on Konami. Maybe Raiden, but that will be a Metal Gear, and I don't think third-party characters are going to get third-party franchises are getting a second character outside of third-party companies may get more characters, but not from the same franchises unless it's an Echo. So I really toss up. I didn't include Sega in here because we already have a Sega character in Joker as the DLC. Then we have level 5. I'm shocked we haven't gotten an Yokai or any type of Yokai Watch representation. Professional Layton could also be it. I'm leaning more towards Yokai Watch. It's a bigger franchise and makes sense to have one of them in the game. Professor Layton, and maybe a Spirit could be cool. Then Square Enix, although I don't want Square Enix. I don't, mostly because of look at what's happening with Cloud. Cloud has two skins. It has two skins with variants different of colors, which is not really, it's very distinguishable. And It has two music tracks in the game, no assist trophies. I believe very little spirits are in the game as well from Final Fantasy or from Square as a whole. But if Square is gonna get a character, I heard the rumors about the guy from Dragon Quest 1 and 2, I think was his name, from Dragon Quest, not his name, but I think it's like from 1 or 2 or 3, I think it's from 3, El something, I forget his name, Elrin, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it, I don't even remember his name, but he also looks very much like Goku, which is funny because obviously it was designed by Akira Toriyama. And I can see that happening, and hopefully if that happens there's more representation of the franchise and of the character than Final Fantasy. But knowing Square, it's better keep it away. I heard some people talk about Sora being in the game, but Joker did not make Sora more likely. Sora still, in my opinion, personal opinion, has 0% chance of happening. For a couple of reasons. The first one is it's not just Square. First it's Square, right off the gate. It's Square Enix's behavior. Then you add in Disney. You have already two very protective companies in it, and I don't think it's likely, and I hope it doesn't happen. For somebody looking from the outside into the Kingdom Hearts fan base, it's not that good. And let me play this right now. Sonic fan base, Pokemon fan base, the Smash fan base, they're all pretty bad and all have pretty bad apples. But Kingdom Hearts cannot help itself. Not just the fan base, but the trailers. For someone that has never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games, the trailers for those games a little bad in my opinion. And nothing against the franchise, never played it, so I'm just gonna give my opinion on the trailers that have honestly, in my opinion, been bad. But that's about it. But it's just that, I don't know, it feels, because of like all of the things mounting against it, you need Square and Disney to approve it, and then even then you have to do a lot of stuff. And I think third parties this time around will have to have something involving Nintendo. You can say, well, look at Cloud and look at Ryu. They came out for the Wii U, for the 3DS, the game. They came out for Smash on those systems. They didn't have games coming out for the system or for those systems, but came out later. But again, Final Fantasy had games on the 3DS, so did Street Fighter. And sure, you can say the same thing about Kingdom Hearts, but the reason I think like Nintendo's gonna use this as advertisement. So Dragon Quest will make sense for Dragon Quest 11. Kingdom Hearts is not coming to the Switch. We haven't heard anything from a Kingdom Hearts collection, which that goes in line with what I'll be talking about tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But I don't think it's very likely that we'll see Sora in. Another character that would be great to see, but I don't think we will, unfortunately, is Chrono from Chrono Trigger. Unfortunately, I don't think we're gonna get him, as much as I would love to see that. And an Octopath Traveler character, but it's Square, so it's up in the air. I wish we didn't get another Square character. Not because I have anything against Square, not because I don't like the games. It's just that I would like a character from a third party to come in and be treated like every other third party character, to be treated like every other first party character. You know, look at Castlevania. Look at the Castlevania respect, the Castlevania love that was given in Smash Bros. Ultimate. The same thing for Street Fighter. The same thing for Sonic. The same thing for Bayonetta. And then you look at Final Fantasy, and it's a shit show because of Square's attitude towards crossovers. And obviously, here's the thing. A lot of these characters could probably have a better representation in Final Fantasy because Final Fantasy has that fighting game crossover. But it's still one of those things of like, why can't you just allow us to have good things? This is not gonna hurt your sales of Disgaea. Disgaea is not even on Switch or on Nintendo system. So why? And also, would more music hurt the game? I mean, I don't know. But still, it's still Square. It's very, very... Then we reach Capcom. I can see... I only put 3 characters. Yeah, 3 things here. A Monster Hunter character makes sense. We know Monster Hunter game is being developed for Switch. What it is, we don't know. Phoenix Wright, also weird that we haven't had any type of representation for Phoenix Wright. I would have loved to see Phoenix Wright, if he's not going to be playable, as an assist trophy, as a spirit, something. Give us something. Why isn't he here? Come on, give us Phoenix. It's a travesty then somebody should go to court with Phoenix Wright being... no, Phoenix Wright is a defense attorney. He wouldn't work. Edgeworth could be the accusation. Probably Phoenix would be such a nice guy, he probably would defend the people blocking him from being in Smash. But no matter. And then I have like a Resident Evil character, Resident Evil 4, I think. I think they're releasing some Resident Evil games on Switch. I forget which ones there are. So it would make sense. I know Revelations 1 and 2 are on the Switch. I think like 4 is coming. Resident Evil 0, I think. I don't know. I know they're making some. I forget which one it is, but I know they're coming in next year. So it would make sense. And Resident Evil is not in the game. But then again, it would be the fourth, right? Mega Man. Yeah, the fourth character from Capcom in the game. So I don't know if that would be in, or they would allow it to be the company with the most amount of representation in Smash outside of Nintendo. Then we reach the final one that we'll be talking from the Japanese ones. That is Namco. From Namco, there's a crap ton of ones that I have here. I have, well, one of them will work very well with another character that I'm almost certain will be in the game at this point. But I have a Tales of character, a character from Dark Souls, and Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur, the one here that makes most amount of sense from these three because of, you know, fighting game already is there. But the character I think could very likely be in here, and I want it to be in here, not just because the character is already in Smash, but characters I think will be in Smash. It's Heihachi from the Tekken series. Makes sense. We had a costume of him in Smash 4. He's not in here. We haven't seen anything from Tekken in Smash. I think we should. And it just makes sense in my opinion. He's the mascot basically of the Tekken franchise, or the main guy for the Tekken franchise. Namco makes the games, makes Tekken, they're making Smash. Combine the two maybe, like come on, just bring him in. He's the most obvious one. And he will go very well with the character I'm almost certain will be in the game. Or one of them that will be in the game. One of the three that I have here, but I think one of them will very likely be. Then we reach other characters from outside of Japan. I have two for Ubisoft. There are not Ubisoft, for Bethesda, the same ones that I had before. Doomguy and Dovahkiin. I'm not really going to change my opinion on those. Either one could happen. The relationship between the two of Nintendo and Bethesda seems to be improving, so either one of these two makes sense. Then for Ubisoft I have three characters, I believe one more than last time I talked about this, and those characters are Rayman and Rabbit. They still are here, they still make sense, either one could be it. But I have a third one, and the third one comes from a leaked collection coming to the Switch. I think it's not just Switch, I think it's coming to PS4 and Xbox One, and that's Enzo from the Assassin's Creed. That collection is Assassin's Creed collection, and we don't know which games were there. I forget which. I don't think there was in the leak or the retail listings included it. And Enzo from Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood. I think that's where he is. Enzo Altair makes sense to have them. Especially if the games are coming. Assassin's Creed has been on Nintendo before, and if the collection is coming, and it's coming like early next year or mid next year, it will be a good way to promote it. Then we have Microsoft, Banjo and Kazooie. Maybe Nintendo has come out and said that they're not making an N64 Classic, or they're not making any more minis. I believe that from this point forward, the way forward is going to be the Nintendo Online system with the apps for each of the consoles. And if they can make a deal to have the N64 rare games on that online system. Microsoft has said they want Game Pass on other systems, so it's very likely that we can see it, although I don't believe it. Nintendo would have to want it. But yeah, and then we reach the character that oh boy, this is the one that I think is gonna happen, and I think it's gonna be Scorpio from Mortal Kombat. I know it sounds crazy. I know it sounds absolutely crazy. This is why I want Heihachi also to be in the game. I think Scorpio is going to be in the game. And I know the likelihood. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say that Scorpio is going to be a character in Smash Ultimate. And I think, first things first, this is my prediction for it. I think the game comes out in April, right? I think right now my prediction for the DLC is that it comes out every 2 months. Then we're gonna get like a direct in January that's gonna be like, hey, by the way, this is when Piranha Plant comes out. It's in February 15th, around that time period. It's when the Amiibos launch. And then we're gonna get a Nintendo Direct in March. And then they're gonna be like, okay, they'll begin the thing, they talk about 3DS games, and then they talk about, you know, Switch titles, and midway through talking about Switch titles, they're like, oh, by the way, Joker from Smash, or they begin with Joker in Smash. I'm like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. Joker's gonna be in Smash, and here's the release date and all that. And they keep going. They talk about a few other games, and then they talk about Mortal Kombat. And the trailer for Mortal Kombat, you know, it's a trailer that's coming, like, they're like, oh, the game comes out next month, here's a few details, here's a new character maybe, yada yada yada. I think they're gonna announce every character before then, but still, yada yada yada, the pre-order bonuses and all that stuff. Trailer fades to black. And then you just hear Scorpio scream, get over here! That's why I think Scorpio is gonna be in. I also have Sub-Zero and Raiden being in, but I think it's gonna be Scorpio. You just hear her get over here. You see his chain go through the screen, like you saw at the Game Awards, not breaking through the screen, but going through to the darkness, and then you just see it pull at someone, and you just see a flash of white because he pulls in Ryu from Street Fighter, and then it transitions into a Smash, like both of them fighting, and then it goes Super Smash Brothers Ultimate Cross Mortal Kombat. I know it sounds crazy, but first things first, I'm not the first person to predict this. Maximilian Dudes and some other people from Yo Video Games have predicted this. And here's the thing, it sounds crazy. It is crazy. It's insane to predict this. But so was Joker. And Mortal Kombat 11 is coming to the Switch. So and Mortal Kombat has been on Switch before. The possibility is there. I know Mortal Kombat is a rated M for mature game, but so is Metal Gear Solid, so is Bayonetta, and so is Persona 5, and all those games are in Smash. So I wouldn't say no to that, and I think it will be really cool. That's why I want Heihachi to be one of the DLC characters, because think about this one for a second. In Smash Brothers Ultimate, we could have, after the DLC is done, we could have Street Fighter, Tekken, and Mortal Kombat all in the same game. I also think that, like, for example, I know they don't play a lot, like, but they could have Sub-Zero be a clone for, or Neko for Scorpion, maybe change, or Scorpio, and change like his grab, and maybe Heihachi has somebody else to be a character that will be with him. It sounds crazy, it is crazy, but sometimes you have to make a little bit of a crazy prediction, and it's my crazy prediction. My crazy prediction is that Scorpio is gonna be a DLC character for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Not only do I think he's gonna be a DLC character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I even predicted the goddamn trailer. Now watch this bite me in the ass, and then we get the DLC characters, and it's all gonna be like, oh, it's Three Houses character is Edelgard, and here's a Generation 8 starter, and here is Waluigi, and finally here's Goku, because screw you, you know, you're crazy, you thought Sub-Zero, you thought Scorpio, here's Goku. Yeah, okay, that will be it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me in the comment sections who do you think will be in the final 4 DLC characters, and if you think I'm insane for thinking Scorpio has a legitimately high chance of being in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And yeah, that'll be about it. Thank you guys so much. I've been Wedge of Yes. Link in the description for the 15 euro eShop giveaway, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!